Welcome back to the Recharge Podcast, powered by RE/MAX of Michigan, where it's all about real stories, real strategies, real estate. My name is Kaylee Wilkinson, and I am joined by my co-host, Ashley Dane. Today, we're joined by someone that not only brings leadership and experience to the real estate industry, but also energy, humor, personality, and a strong sense of community. In the studio with us today is Joe McNally, broker owner of RE/MAX Together in Big Rapids. Joe is known for building meaningful relationships, leading a successful brokerage, and staying deeply connected to his community and his family. But if you've ever been to one of our events, you know he's a top-notch performer and brings a personality that lights up a room. So we are excited to dive into this and Joe's journey. So without further ado, Joe, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you
Thanks
both.
for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes.
It's fun.
Listen, Joe, before we start, I have to say, when Ashley and I were brainstorming topics on what to discuss with you and what to bring up today, we had a very good, solid foundation, right? Mm-hmm. But as time went by, we would be like, what about this? What about this? What about this? We have to add this.
Mm-hmm.
So many different things we could chat with you about.
Right. You are a very dynamic human being, and I'm excited to dive deeper into your journey and why you're sitting with us on the couch today. But I don't know how you fit it in 24 hours. Kudos to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, this is exciting. I've watched the other episodes and thought, not going to lie, man, that would be really fun. I hope I get my call at some point.
I hope
it's good to be here.
I hope it lives up to the hype.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I love sharing. So
let's start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. You're in Big Rapids. Mm-hmm. How did you land in Big Rapids?
So I'm not from Michigan. I was actually raised in northern Maine. Okay. So way in northern Maine, not Bar Harbor, Bangor, Portland, where people are more familiar with, but way back in the woods, northern Maine, down a dirt road, no running water, no electricity. My dad was a extreme gentleman. He was a getting away from the world as far as possible and still be in the continental United States, and that was where he landed. So, okay. But actually, in a way, that music led me to my wife, who led me here to Michigan. So, okay. Long story, but by the time I was around 15, I was music skills run in my family. My mom and dad both great vocalists, play multiple instruments, and so I picked it up when I was pretty young. Mm-hmm. And there isn't a lot else to do in the woods but play guitar, right? And then
curated
once we had power,
musical ability there.
Yeah. So I played guitar, and then once we got electricity, when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old, we had electricity. Oh my gosh! So
you went a decade without electricity?
Yeah.
We're not even talking no screens.
Oil lamps. Oh yeah.
And firewood and
firewood. Oh yeah, splitting the firewood.
Wow.
When I was about 7, 8 years old, picked up a lot of responsibilities like that around the house. I get the water roughly maybe 300-400 yards from the house. Back in the woods, there's a pond. My dad would cut a hole in the ice with his chainsaw. It was my job to get water out of the hole, bring it up to the house in the middle of the winter, and use it for bathing and drinking and that sort of thing. So,
I watch TV shows with this type of lifestyle.
Oh, no. This is real deal.
Was you.
This is 100% real deal. I actually couldn't. Yeah.
And those shows have solar panels.
At least.
No, real deal. Backwoods living. So yeah, hardcore.
Okay, so when the world ends, I know that I'm going to find you because you can keep me alive.
No kidding.
Yeah, no. Definitely have some of those skills. Have not. It's been amazing not to have to use any of them, and probably, who knows, very rusty at this point. But, but yeah, so 15, played music, I actually got invited to help with worship at a Christian event out in Idaho. Oh. So my family was in Idaho. I was, on stage doing music, and my wife came out with her family from Michigan to listen to a speaker. Right? So people came from all over to this event, and her family was there. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I met her. And
at 15.
she at 15.
Amazing.
And it took me a couple years of pursuit. Because at the end of the day, I could pretend, but I was just this backwoods kid from northern Maine, you know. So, but eventually she, we fell in love, got married very young, and then I ended up moving to Michigan.
Oh, so, Karen, you were the very first sale.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you made him work for it. I love that. I love it.
So that's how you got to Michigan. Yeah. How did you get into real estate?
So when I was 18 years old, I am 18 and I am now married. Okay. And my mother got her real estate license. And so real estate license seemed to me like this really prestigious, extremely, I just thought it was this amazing, high level job, high level job for someone in northern Maine. This is probably as good as it gets around here. A real estate agent with a real estate license. Oh my gosh. And so she got it, and she every day, Joe, you'd be so good. You'd be so good. You love talking to people. You love communicating. You'd be great at real estate. You need to do real estate. Well, really what happened was I got my real estate license, and I just ended up going and showing houses for her and doing listing paperwork and stuff in the office. And I never sold a single house while I was in Maine, but I had my license and I did get out and learn some of the business, but really it didn't last long. I kept my license, but I ended up sticking with what I was originally went to school for, went for an apprenticeship for, which was construction. So I was a contractor and, built houses, did siding decks, all that sort of thing. So you kind of got the whole, I was full-time. I graduated school when I was 15, immediately went to work 50, 60 hours a week, construction. So that was my bread and butter, if you will. So that's how we paid the bills. It was construction, and real estate didn't really take shape in a meaningful way until Michigan years later, a couple years later. Yeah. That's amazing. So what were some of the biggest lessons you learned early on in your real estate career, or even while you were doing the construction and all the back end work? I think the biggest lessons, there's all the little ones. And I think a huge hurdle I had when I actually started doing real estate in pursuit of it as a meaningful full-time job was overcoming just this feeling like I was behind. I was way behind everybody. I was way behind on everything. And I always felt that very strongly. It puts a chip on your shoulder a little bit. And the first year I did real estate full-time here in Michigan.
And what year is this approximately?
This would be 2012. Okay. 2011. Okay. Yeah. Somewhere around there, about 15 years ago. So the first calendar year, I sold one house. It was a $12,000 cabin in Chase, Michigan. And so I was doing construction on the side. I was working at the post office, actually, as a PSE. I had a couple other things going, and I was working 40 hours a week on real estate. And I was paying the bills by remodeling the office that I was working out of. And so 12 months, I came home, hit my year anniversary, I came home and I cried at the table with my wife. And I said, I'm not cut out for this. I suspected I wasn't cut out for this. I don't know anyone. I'm not from here. It's not working out. And so she listened and she said, hey, if you quit, that's fine. But, if you decide to keep moving forward, you should probably really try something other than what the people in your office are saying. Because that was a little bit of the backstory. It was just business as usual ish, and it was not working for me. And so I said, you're right. And so this was back when Google was first getting its legs, and I went and I Googled what's new in real estate, and I think that is where I learned one of my first really big lessons was I found Zillow. The Zestimate had just been born at that time. It was very controversial. I'm sure you remember, Ashley.
Oh, I remember it.
And very much hated and loathed by realtors for the vast majority.
Well, and at that time was horrifically
it was
inaccurate.
Horrific, especially in rural Michigan. I mean, it was crazy. But
was the first time sellers had access to any information. So even if it was wrong.
I was intrigued. I was very intrigued. And I called the Zillow office. And at the time, you could call the number and you could ring right into one of the 12. It was like the guy, I think, literally said 12 dudes on the 14th floor in Seattle, Washington. And so I talked to him. We talked for an hour and a half. And he talked about a lot of passion, a lot of energy where the real estate industry is going. And so he signed me up. He said, Joe, they didn't even have Zillow zip codes created for anywhere in our market. So he said, we're going to make you a zip code. We're going to make the map and we're going to buy it. And I said, how much? He said, it's going to be $10 a month. And I was like, $10. And he was like, you know what? I'll pay for it for you for the first 3 months. I will cover it myself.
Wow.
So Zillow paid for my Zillow for the first 3 months that I had it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So I closed 55 transactions that next 12 months.
From 1 to 55.
From 1 to 55. And 50 of them were through Zillow. And it taught me a lot about the industry in that what blew my mind was that here's the face of a young man, very young man at the time. I'm still so young, but back then I was really young. And a young man that no one has ever met because I'm not from here. There's no name recognition. There's no McNally within who knows how far. And they're clicking on my name and my face. They're clicking on this. It's unbelievable to me that they're clicking on this. And we know the statistics now. Everyone knows, in person very well, 5 or 6 agents. Every human knows personally. And so why are these people clicking me? And I just realized really quickly why that was. And it comes down to trust and relationship and people having an absence of relationships that they really feel they can lean into and trust when they're searching for real answers. Yeah. So, and when I figured that out, I said, oh man, I have a shot at this. I really do have a shot. I don't have to have the family name and the contacts and the background and all the things. I think I can do this.
And I look forward to diving in deeper of that connection, that community connection later on. But when you got your legs that second year, did you ever envision that it would lead to a broker owner position? Was that always your destination?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Had no interest. Wasn't on the radar. Yeah.
So what was that turning point that led you to leadership and envisioning that for yourself and for Karen? Like what led you there?
I actually, I felt a lot of loyalty towards my broker. And so he taught me so much. He was very kind to me in so many ways. He gave me work that funded that first year of failure, essentially. And so, but at the end of the day, I was this, moving forward, hard charging, let's make stuff happen. And I initially, I remember approaching him and saying, hey, I would love to start another office. Like, let's branch out your company. I'll go run this one. That wasn't on his radar. He was not interested in that at the time. So that's really what got me going. My first route would have been, I would rather stay and continue under his leadership and start another office under his leadership, but it didn't work out. So I started thinking, well, I really need to look at other options. Yeah. And so that's where kind of that began, seed in the back of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've received top honors as a broker, distinguished service, broker owner of the year, tech office of the year, and now you're a RE/MAX torchbearer. What does those recognitions mean to you personally?
I feel very grateful because, again, you heard a little bit about my background. So when I look at those, when they're spoken to me, they're still, they feel like, I think there's still a part of me that goes, is that, wow, we really did that. Wow, okay, that's really cool. But I think more than anything, it's just, I am really grateful. I'm a very, very grateful person. Everything that all these awards, all these things, it just a lot of opportunity has been given me, and a lot of people have said yes to me. A lot of people have trusted me, and whether it's Mike at Regional or any or you as leadership and all the people along the way, have trusted me, and I'm just so grateful. It's all opportunities, and anyone can say yes.
Yeah.
And so, but I've been given a lot, and I'm very thankful for that. So yeah, I look at those and I just go, wow, but you have
the work ethic behind it to show for that. And I think you do that silently almost. You post on social media what you do, but really like the grind, the day in, the day out, supporting agents in your office, supporting your support team. Like you're there, you're present, you're doing all of that back end stuff, and good for you to be acknowledged for all that effort. So it's seen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's true. Like Kaylee was joking before we started here, like, Joe, how do you do this all in 24 hours a day? It feels like you've cloned yourself into 4 people because you just work that hard, and you do it without showing the world that you're just relentless in what you do to make success happen for you and your associates.
I do. So on that note, I have a little bit of a baked in, you could call it an advantage. A lot of people would look at it as a disadvantage. I think in many ways it was. But a few years ago, my wife talked me into, finally, because my wife is very into, she loves counseling. She loves therapy. She loves understanding emotional intelligence, all these things. She's so gifted with all of that. And so she helped raise this man, And so she said, Joe, you need to go. I think everyone who knows me knows this guy is on the outer edge with the energy and with all the whatever. And she said, you need to go and check, just go to a psychiatrist. Let's look at you, ADHD, what's going on. So the result of this couple hours with this gentleman was that he said, you have ADHD, but you are, my entire career, there's only been 2 people I've ever seen with your level. You are 99th percentile on every way across the board. And so there are a lot of challenges to overcome in my head, in that environment. But I think the benefits are that I can process a lot of information, and it doesn't, I think I've learned it not to weigh me down. I think that's the challenge, is processing the information has never been an issue. It's been how to delegate it, how to categorize it, and how to put it in its place. And so I have gotten very good at that.
Good.
And at the end of the day, I've gotten more comfortable in my skin, I think, and who I am and where my gifts can play and where I shouldn't play.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So I want to dive more into all of the things that we know and respect of how you run your business, the culture and the technology and the leadership and the processes. But I do want to give our listeners a little bit of context, because you did mention year 1, you had 1 sale, and year 5, you had 55. Now, for those of us in the industry, like your jaw hits the floor, because 55, doing it by yourself is an impossible amount of work. But now this is many years later, you have the gas pedal to the floor constantly. You've got a giant team. And I don't want to make you uncomfortable by asking this question, but do you have any idea what your lifetime volume is?
I do. My staff posted actually last week. So my individual sales, me individually working transactions, not the team or the office, I hit 1,500 on Sunday. 1,500. My team was tracking it. So they posted 1,500. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of sales. I think it's an average of almost 100. Oh no. For the years that I've been active, it's an average of over 100 a year.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's incredible. I mean, honestly, that level, there's some people that are so happy when they get that in 5 years' time, and you're doing that in a single year.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable. And it is not possible without an amazing team and systems and processes.
Yes.
We'll get into all of that. But on average, how many transactions do you think that you're personally involved in? Your team, yours individually, but also the teams that you're touching. Like, how many homes in this greater Big Rapids area, Mecosta County, all of the counties around you, how many transactions are you touching in a given year?
In a given
Even
year.
your office.
Yeah. Around close to 400 to 500, somewhere in there. 400 to 500 that close. And then there's the percentages that don't close, which we try to keep as small as possible.
Right.
But yeah, around 400, 500 that I'm pretty directly involved in.
And you compound that over a decade that you've been doing this. That's a really profound impact on your area of the state.
Yes.
It's very impressive.
It is.
Well done.
It's a lot. Thank you.
All right. So, but honestly, is it luck? Is it skill? Is it your work ethic? What attributes brought this level of success?
So I've talked a little bit about processing information. I think that, and we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, but relationship is what is the starving ingredient. It's the ingredient that we're starving for. And I am not a huge fan. I've never been a huge fan of social media. I understand it's a tool, but I think that the media and social media, their currency is anxiety. All right. And there's a lot of science behind it. There's billionaires that are trying to figure out how to make us as anxious as possible. So we keep coming back. But underneath it all, I think there's a really healthy desire that's being flushed out, and people want to connect. People want to see authenticity. And authenticity, I think the first way that people recognize it is in imperfections, is actually in imperfections and where people fall short. And so I think that learning how to lead myself has been, in being successful here, has been really being able to show up and just get over myself and not take myself too seriously and not die on any hills and not just say I'm all in on this or nothing, because I think so, because, I think having flexibility there is really important. And then it has helped me grow to learn how to lead other people from the back of the room. And, leaders are the ones who apologize first and share credit first. And so doing that is true. It's real, because that's really, and anyone who succeeds, that's really what's going on, right? No one does it by themselves. And so I think that authenticity is what has opened the doors of relationships for me.
Well, and that kind of parlays into this idea. I know you started with paid lead sources as your primary lead source, and your business has developed into this more relationship-oriented world. In this past year, where have your top lead sources been? Where are you primarily getting business now in your systems?
So I personally, I don't advertise at all anymore. I haven't for years. My personal name. And so all of my leads, I closed 131 deals last year. I believe 118 of them were direct word of mouth referrals. So just referral. And so that's the dream, right? Of any agent, is to build their business on that. But it is hard to start. It's hard to maintain. It is. It's hard to start and it's hard to maintain. And so that's where where most of my leads come from. Very thankful for that. Always taking fresh looks at that. How can I make sure that I'm being the best that I can in that atmosphere? That being said, I am very hands-on as a broker. I meet my agents one-on-one. I coach them every Wednesday morning in our office. We're talking. And so we have all these environments that we coach and talk and have discourse. And so there's a lot of agents that don't have that luxury, right? So we're trying to pull into their sphere, into their family, their friends, their high school buddies, all of this, right? But we're also trying to find a way to pour gas on the fire a little quicker. So yes, agents do pay for leads. And yes, there are strategies that work and strategies that are disasters. You can waste a lot of money or you can spend it very effectively. And so I'm always trying to, just because I am, most of my leads are organic, really about all of them are, I am constantly studying and trying to find ways to find better paid leads or other ways for agents to bring people into their relationship circle.
Well, and that's honestly, it's some of the best conversations you can have. New agents will chat with me about how to grow their business and what they do. And there's a million different ways that you can do it. But if you're going to do a paid lead source, you're wasting your money if you're doing the paid lead source and you never talk to those people again. You have to develop personal relationships with them so that the next time you get their repeat business and you get the referrals to their friends and family. That's how you make the economics here work.
Correct. I think most agents fail because they just have one bucket. And the one bucket is the lead that they're closing next week, the week after that, the next month. And it's the only one they have mental space for. And so when you set the table for people and understand you got to have a 2-year bucket and a 3-year bucket and a 1 year and a 6 month, you got to have all these and you're investing. It's an investment of your time. And so it's hard when people are used to being paid at the end of the week for the 40 hours you worked. Not realtors, boy, right? That's that investment. You're going to see that return in 3 years if you babysit it, if you take care of it right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So if we can switch gears here, you and Karen have built a full life outside of real estate. You have 3 kids, very active kids, while running a business. What has that balancing act looked like throughout the years? How do you do it all?
Very imperfectly.
Yeah.
And I think that it has grown us. I think that having the family, being a dad, being a husband, being, running the office, it has put everyone in places where we don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where you decide how are we going to learn from this? How are we going to take away from this? How are we going to make things better? I think the past 5 or 6 years, I have especially done a much better job at being a dad and being a husband in those environments, right? Learning how to delegate and set things aside, be more efficient. But it's hard. It is absolutely hard. And I think that what I have always, again, never taking myself too seriously, years and years ago, over 10 years ago, I started a habit of, in the house we lived at the time, there was a bridge that I had to go over to get to my road to go home. And so every time I drove over the bridge, I would roll my window down and I would throw everything out the window, metaphorically speaking.
Okay.
Here's the day. Here's the stress of the day. Here are all the problems and anxieties, all the things. I'm not going to take them home with me. They're not coming in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so did I always nail it? Absolutely not. But the mentality was always there that I am going to learn how to actually treat the number one like the number one, right? Which is my relationship with God, my wife, my children, right? In that order. And have I gotten it wrong so many times? Oh my gosh, yes. But that is my heart. That is my heart's desire, is to do it for them, right? All these things for them to enhance my ability to connect with them.
And I feel like Karen is like the yin to your yang, where you are go, 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 just a go-getter, right? Not saying that she's not, but she's more of a like feelings and balance and making sure everything feels good and looks good and like,
she's got those priorities locked in.
Yeah.
I think if there's any gift I would say about her that's been so necessary in the wake of what has happened in my life in RE/MAX and real estate has been her adaptability.
Yeah.
She is extremely strong mentally. And so I know the real Karen behind the scenes, right? That fiery, gritty gal, right? That also can be the life of the party, that also can go out and take risks and be crazy. But I think that many times she's been in that spot where she's got to, hang on here. Let's, what's going on? So the yin and the yang, 100%.
Yeah.
None of this was possible. She was like that tether in many ways that kept me from just floating off into the, so, and so, my hope is, right, my goal has been for her to be, she jumped into this thing with me.
She did.
Almost 13 years ago now. Jumped in, both feet, let's do this together. And I could never have done it without her.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What have your kids taught you about perspective and priorities?
I think that my children are so different. Anyone who has children, I think that's one of the things we can always say. They're so incredibly different from each other, so different from us. We see the similarities that we love. We see the differences that we go, makes us nervous sometimes. And so my children, my desire for them has been not that they would never work, not that they wouldn't know what, how to build character through grinding, through pain, suffering that life can bring along sometimes, and the lessons that are learned there. But I did want them to have more access to opportunity than I did. And also to not have to overcome a lot of the fears and insecurity that I had to deal with. So I think that shows up in my children. I think it shows up in a big way. I think if you meet them and you talk to them, all three of them, from my 19 to my 17 to my 13, I think you would see a lot of strength and confidence. And there is, I think my wife and I would say the same thing. On days where I feel like I failed, there are very few, very rare times I feel like I failed as a parent. I have put that first over and over again. So I've always said to myself, I want to be proud of that. I want to be able to look back, and if everything else just sucked, I want to be able to say, I did crush the parenting thing. I was a great dad. So I am a great dad, and they have a great mom. And our kids, I think all three of them would say, the truth is, all three of them would say, I'm never going to be in real estate, right? It's crazy, right? And so they have been around that environment. They come home and the crazy stories and the whatever it might be. The client that stood you up at the listing, the agent that lost their mind over something. Who knows? The little things that go on behind the scenes.
The deals that break apart during vacation.
Sure, exactly. Right in the middle, on the beach, everything's great, and all of a sudden, dad's just in a bad mood because something happened. And so I think that I have gotten better again at tossing it over the bridge, not bringing it with me.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's always the goal.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Good for you. So I know faith also plays a profound influence in your life and Karen's life. I mean, that's how you met, for goodness sakes. How do you balance faith, family, and business? How do they all coexist in your life?
So I talk about leading myself. I think I mentioned that, leading myself. Have not been perfect, still fall short, but I think that my faith and my relationship with the Lord is where I don't have to be. I mean, Jesus came and sacrificed and gave his life and did all this so that way I didn't have to be perfect. I don't have to achieve all these things to have meaning, to have purpose, to have any of that stuff. So when I'm able to remind myself of that every day, and I am walking out into the world, in my kids' lives, my friends' lives, anywhere, without having to do it, right? Then I get to do things all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I get to be a dad. I get to be a part of leading people into better lives. I get to be, it is such a different perspective. And so I know I have a check. I know when I'm getting off.
Yeah.
I know when I'm doing it because I got to prove, or I got to be, or I got to do. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. And I will come back to, I try to start every morning with a good book, usually the Bible or some other book like that, even if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, in my chair looking out the window before anything else happens. And just a reminder that I am, I'm here with my kids. I'm as rich. All the things that I care about, I have.
Yeah.
Everything else, I get to do.
Yeah.
It's all privilege.
Exactly where you need to be, where God wanted you to be.
I've got it all.
In the same situation that he created you to be. And it's a beautiful thing. And I do the same thing. I wake up, read my Bible, have some gratitude time, reflection, even when I'm running. Like those are all thoughts that come into my head as well. And I appreciate that side of you. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. It's what keeps me running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
So I learn a lot about you just by the stuff that you're willingly sharing on social media. I know you say that's a tool, but I think it really shines a light as to like who you are and your personality. You're the real deal, right? But I must know, what's the most chaotic McNally family moment that you can share on a podcast? Is there something that stands out?
This could get good.
Yeah.
So that word chaos that has been a signature too often throughout the journeys. I'm trying to eliminate a little more of that chaos. Babe, believe me, I am. So many things. One example, let's do this one. RE/MAX trip, Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
A success trip. So, of course, we got to have an excursion. Okay. One of the reasons I love countries like Mexico and Thailand and Turkey and Egypt and all these crazy places I've been is they don't have OSHA standing on every corner. They don't have as much oversight. And so
access to dangerous
things, exciting things, actually, access to exciting things is much more readily available with a little less, you can make the experience a little more subjective. So I found an experience that I thought was not pushing it too far, but definitely pushing it a little bit. And so we went on this experience with a family. It started in a blow up raft that literally went over the top of a whale and then went to the land. And then my 8-year-old son is riding on a donkey for 2 hours up the side of a mountain. All of us have our own donkey, 8 years old. He's riding this donkey, like trying to get up this mountain. And then at the end, I mean, it was wild. And the whole time I'm going, I'm looking at my family. It's all good, right? Yeah. Because I'm wanting to to push them into an exciting experience, but not damage my chances of it happening again.
Yeah.
And so when I see that slipping away and I see the fear and the, oh my gosh, that's when I go, no, I pushed it too far.
Yeah.
So, sorry kids for that trauma,
Right.
but it ended with this big slide. And, we're used to seeing the slides that we see, the water slides, right? In the US. And when I looked at the slide, I don't design these things, but looking at it, you knew this is not good. This is
and
not
the human
good.
body did not approve.
It had already been a day, right, of this. And then we looked at the slide and you got to climb way to the top of this thing. And at the top, so I'm climbing, I'm going, oh, I think this is the end, Lord Jesus, please. You kept us in one piece so far. We can do this. It's going to be okay. And at the top, and also inside, not wanting to admit defeat and walk away, which is not super healthy. You got to have the ability to walk away. At the top of the slide, they handed us helmets. And I was like, oh no. I mean, if these people are handing you helmets, this is crazy. And it was just wild. It was wild. You hit the bottom and you flew out of the slide and went onto the ground. Anyway, that was a crazy one.
Well, everyone made it, right?
The McNally family used to have 4 children.
Yeah, exactly. No, everyone survived. Everyone made it.
That's good.
And that is good.
You had a great time.
Thankful for that. I guess there's some gratitude to be found there.
There you go.
I'm learning to, it used to be all go on these trips when we traveled. And now I'm learning to mix a lot more downtime.
There you go.
And 15 minutes of stillness on the beach for me, I think does what maybe hours and days does for someone else.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of downtime. So
that's good.
I'm
a little
learning.
balance. Are your kids impressed by what you do or not at all?
Nah. No. And honestly, I don't want it to be, they got a crazy dad, does all this stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I like to leave it and come home and just be like, Dad. And ultimately, I want them to stand on my shoulders, all 3 of them, whatever they do. And so yeah, I think that authenticity at home, authenticity everywhere else really doesn't mean a lot if it's not starting at home.
Oh, yeah.
And so I try to start it at home. I try to be right there. And so in that way, my kids, I want them to be so impressed because I'm around and I'm there and I'm showing up. And so all the other stuff, now as they get older, like my daughter, she's 19 and she's just like, man, Dad, that was an awesome vocal that you did. Like, thank you so much. All right. But at the end of the day, like, I would love other things to impress them. Just being present. Yeah.
One theme that we have consistently heard from you in this podcast is just how much your business has benefited from this relationship-driven mindset. And I heard you say that you haven't advertised or promoted your name in years, but I have seen you put your office first and your exposure first. And you're so involved in community events. If there's something happening in Big Rapids, RE/MAX Together is there and present in a very big way. So how important has community involvement been for the success of your overarching business?
I think that there's 2 things. Number one, it benefits the community, which is always a plus, right? And so, that gives someone always has to step up and lead these things, right? There's someone volunteering. There's people volunteering, and so why not us? Why not us? We love running these events. We love doing it. And even though it can be stressful and it can be hard, as you both know, running a big event, oh my gosh, it can take a lot from you. But I think the other side of it is I want my agents and staff to experience the reward of serving. Yeah. And that is a really important thing to experience and process and believe in. And so I like to see the full circle in my agents, in my staff is the sacrifice, the challenges, the difficulty, the planning, the little failures, but then the gratitude that comes back, right? And sometimes it doesn't come back for a while, right? A lot of people aren't, you don't get an overwhelming flood of, oh my gosh, you're the best, but you're really thankful and cling on to every time you do. And so I think that's really, I see it as a critical component of the character and makeup of my office and company. So I want my staff and my agents to be a part of that, to be known as servants, helpers, givers.
Well, it's in many ways, it's full circle. When you have helped with home transactions for so many buyers and so many sellers, thousands of them over the course of the years, to also be involved, not just in the deal, but in what makes them love the community they're in, the trunk or treats and all of the things. It's a beautiful way to give back.
It is. And ultimately, people, you don't know what you don't know. And when you connect with someone and you're out in it, you're out on the street with people having conversations, how else are you going to facilitate that? Right? In your room, in your car, in your office? Absolutely not. You need to get out there. So that is really great. And people respond differently to it, right? But at the end of the day, I do love seeing, there's frustrations. There's all the authentic things we experience, but I really promote and encourage continuing, pushing through, and people appreciate it, especially again, as the world changes, right? And what I think 3 or 4 of the top 15 Billboard 100 songs right now are written, sung by AI. And so how long, I mean, it's pushing us towards authenticity, literally. Everything is. So the more that you can be in touch with people, face to face with people, it benefits us as the givers, and it benefits the receivers all around. Everyone's getting benefit from it.
Well, and speaking of being face-to-face, I love the stories that you share of being with you, so present with your agents. You get them together every week. You make them breakfast. You talk tech, you talk just processes and what's going on in the world and solve problems. How did that tradition begin?
That was actually, so I am not a cook. When I got married, my wife was so excited to cook for me, and she said, "What do you want to eat?" And I was like, "There's options." And so my wife started this. She actually started when she was part of the office. She started cooking and making breakfast before this Wednesday morning. And as a broker, you're always trying to come up with the next brainchild of how to connect with the agents and get them in the office and get them going, right? And so this was like something that was birthed out of some things that we didn't do so good in this. And so Wednesday mornings. And so she started coming in, I'll cook breakfast. Thank goodness, because I can't cook, right? So she started cooking breakfast. And then when she started stepping away from the company, we started ordering breakfast. Really didn't like that. Didn't like the ordering the breakfast. It didn't last very long. So I got with Katie, who's my associate broker. And basically we were like, hey, I think both of us combined could probably replicate what Karen did and what we ordered. We could probably, between us two, show up and cook breakfast and make this happen. So that's where that was born. And so we were always doing it, showing up, but it was the breakfast is, I've learned to cook a little better.
That's good.
Marginally.
There you go.
And so I think everyone's sick of what I cook, but that's okay. They eat it. It's all gone by lunch. It's all gone. So, but at the end of the day, it's setting a tone. A lot of the tone is set in the kitchen in the 20 minutes before we go down into the meeting.
Yes.
It's sitting around, it's talking about the events of the week. It's on a Wednesday, it's middle of the week. It's a great time. And the meeting that we have down there, I usually will start a topic, but it's more about throwing chum in the water and getting things stirred up, right? And so that's a place, I talk about authenticity. That's where I want to see it show up. And it might be an agent that's not real happy about something that happened, had a bad experience, has a question, has a concern, but it's a safe place for that there. And so I invite it, open the door to it. So
yes. And it's so much more about the information sharing. These aren't just, you're not giving them a bagel and cream cheese. You're being present with them. You're connecting with them. You're giving them an opportunity to tap into your knowledge and expertise to really benefit their business and their clients along the way. Do you think that people underestimate the value of being present and involved?
I think part of everyone knows, but we just get stuck. People get stuck. And again, I think that so much of our society, the content that we absorb and is thrown at us all the time, is breaking us away from connection. Because when I'm talking to you, I'm not on my phone. I'm not watching my TV. I'm not on this show. I'm not doing anything else but talking to you, right? There's this one-to-one edification. And so all of us want it. We are all designed for it. So I think that, I think people appreciate it, but I think they forget about it. Definitely forget. Yeah.
It's true that in my opinion, if a person has spoken to Joe McNally for 10 minutes they know Joe McNally. You're very authentic, and who you present is who you really are in your base soul. You're so personable. How has that authenticity helped build long-term relationships in business?
I think that people have a desire to not be conned and not be sold.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, I don't think you should be selling your house. I'm at a listing appointment. Tell me your story. What's going on? I don't know. Is it the right time? I don't know if it is the right time. Let's talk through that. And so it's something really simple, but there are 1,000 scenarios in which if you have your business interest and your self-interest first, then you're not going to say what you should be saying. You're not going to lead where you should be leading, and you're not going to take the conversation where it should be going. And so I think the challenge for me has been more about limitations, healthy boundaries, right? Than it has been about, I want to be honest, right? I just, I don't sleep well if it's not honest. I just don't sleep well. I don't live well. It makes me very uncomfortable to sell to people. And so, one of the consequences of the way that I come off to people is I come off as a lot. I do sometimes. I come off as a lot. And a lot of people, they feel like it's a sales pitch. It's this energetic, I'm going to do all this and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm the show and I'm going to be. And so that is a consequence that breaks my heart sometimes. Not much I can do about it, but be fake. And I'm not going to do that. Right. And so, but where I have seen reward come over length of time is when, in spite of some of these things, you just keep being authentic. You just keep being you and keep leading it in the direction where it's going to serve the client the best. And it all works out. It just works out. I have people try to pay me constantly for things that are not, I get paid at closing to sell a house. Everything else is on me. And I love that. I love that. I am constantly trying to provide more service to people that is not connected to a check, is not connected to payment, because that'll take care of itself. So the more I can do that has nothing to do, there is no way that I'm going to be paid or I could receive anything from this. People know that someone's looking out for them, right? And so if they know I am, then they feel that way about RE/MAX and RE/MAX Together and RE/MAX Together agents, right?
That's actually a beautiful answer. And I think you'll see this with most successful real estate agents. They don't get this far with this level of success unless they're doing really the right thing for the right reasons.
Yes.
And to have the opportunity to have so many opportunities in conversations with clients where you're giving them this advice that has no benefit to you other than helping them.
Yeah.
And that's happening 90% of the time.
Yeah. I think agents, we have this part, and it's human, right? We all bring all the worst things about ourselves into the business with us. We don't leave them behind. We bring them right along. And so we tend to want to hide from challenging things, right? From the challenging conversations. And so simple example would be, what if we had a controversial transaction and the seller came down more than they wanted to? And then we found out there was back taxes, and then the liens were bigger than they thought they would be. And the number at the end isn't going to make anyone happy. So as an agent, maybe I tend to shy away. I don't want to go over the closing statement before the closing. I don't want to be over their shoulder at that table. I don't want to show up and be there for that challenging part. This is where agents need to lean in. If ever you feel like there's a sense going off, you don't want to be a part of this, you don't want to see this, you don't want to talk, this is your instincts. Lean into that situation. Lean into it. Be humble. Dive into it. They want someone to be with them in it, right? If you lean away, you're the go-to to paint the problem, right? Yeah. Now you're not a part of the solution anymore. So I think that's what I've coached and taught so much to myself and my agents is when you sense that anywhere and anytime, a piece of the conversation that feels like, oh, it's awkward, I don't want to talk about it, lean towards it. Yeah. Right? Yep. Lean right into it. So people, they know, oh man, they're not here to brush me up. They're here to really talk about difficult things. Yes.
It's such a profound bit of advice to share with everybody there. So thank you on that.
It's simple and it's pretty easy to find when it's going on. You're like, oh, okay, I don't want to, but I really should because this is what they need.
Now, in the world of your business, you do not do 1,500 transactions without very good systems and processes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And from a technology standpoint, it's always fun to talk to you. You're always an early adopter of checking these things out. Where does your passion for technology and innovation come from? And why do you think it's important for today's real estate agents?
Yeah. So as a teacher, there is a blessing in you have no choice but to process and study the content, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hidden blessings there. So I could, in a nutshell, or in a vacuum, I could survive without tech, and I could survive without all these things and do very well. But I'm a broker, and I have young agents that want the tech and they want to know what's going on next. So, and I also love efficiency. I am in love with two things that I am always, it's my litmus test for everything. Is it effective, and does it create more efficiency? If it does not do both, I really am not interested unless we can find a way to make it do both. Mm-hmm. And so all of it, I love technology because the underlying premise of tech is to create both of those, is to enhance both of those. And so in the real estate world, though, everyone, we are, some say, the most marketed to group of people in the world, right? And I'm not sure if that makes us dumb or what it makes us, right? But we have a lot of needs, right? And we have a lot of things, a lot of plates we're spinning. So there's a lot of entry opportunity for tech, right? To make a difference. And so I think, Ashley, what I've watched and I admire about you is over the time that I've known you, you do filter the tech, right? It's not all the same. Mm-hmm. It's not all going to actually accomplish one of those two things. Make us more effective as agents and be more efficient as agents. So I love efficiency and effectiveness. And so it leads me to tech. Mm-hmm. It leads me to promoting and investigating things I think, ooh, that's interesting. That could make this process quicker and better. Mm-hmm. Just quicker is worse, right? And I think that's where tech, I think if I had to speak to the tech industry, I say, you're making agents worse, right? When it's all about being faster, no, more effective, make it better, make us better at what we do. And I think they've adapted a lot, to that messaging. But tech, it's necessary for new agents to embrace it and to learn efficiency and also be effective with all this tech. We don't have the relationships when you start, right? Yeah. So you have to build them.
Did you pay him to say that?
No, but I'm going to rip that off and use it again.
We've always gotten along on
that
this stuff.
That is aligned with your philosophies too.
Yeah.
There's a reason I love Joe McNally.
Yeah. Now, listen, we all know the real estate side of Joe, right? Yeah. But you are a man of many talents. You're an entrepreneur down to your DNA. Mm-hmm. How many businesses do you own?
Fewer than I want to and fewer than I did a couple years ago. I actually got into some things as part of the entrepreneurial business. If you're a real entrepreneur, you've failed at a lot of things. Basically, it's just a journey of failing at this and moving on and trying something else. So right now I am a little more centered around a little more upward stack of business. So in title and insurance and mortgage and this sort of thing kind of built into the real estate experience. But we do some other things. I am a part owner of a car wash enterprise up in Traverse City and part owner of a ice cream shop that my wife and my daughter's the manager of the ice cream shop. I was in there, last night with a cutoff tee and shorts and apron and helping my daughter because she had an emergency. A staff didn't show up, and she called me and said, "Dad, I need you now. I need you washing dishes." So I was in the back for an hour last night washing dishes while she was doing the front. I even got to scoop some ice cream. So a couple, some diverse things. I have sold off some businesses, some other things to kind of recenter. My wife has launched a very successful so far to this point, kind of an Airbnb, higher end Airbnb enterprise that's going very well for her. So supporting her in that. Mm-hmm. And then I do some music on the side. Yeah. So
let's talk about that.
Sure.
So
would love to.
Yeah. I mean, not every broker owner has chops like you and can sing like you and perform and command an event. And those that have been to our events know you're a fantastic singer. Where did this come from? Where did your love of singing come from?
Where did my love of singing come from?
Yeah.
Okay. I do love singing. It means a lot to me. And quick story. So when I was a kid in Northern Maine, as we know, back in the woods, how my ADHD showed up then was there were a lot of challenges for me. One of them was speech. And when I was a kid, I actually had severe dysphoria, which is basically stuttering on steroids. I had a period from around 9 to around 14, 13, where I couldn't put more than 1 or 2 words together. Couldn't talk a sentence, could never even approach having a conversation, right? I could sometimes get a conversation going with my parents, but it was a very low stakes environment. But even that would be very challenging. So, but what was, it was a hard part of my life, very challenging, shaped a lot of the initial hurdles that I faced, but I could sing all I wanted to.
Without the stutter.
Without the stutter.
Oh.
Because when, and again, my parents theorized about this behind the scenes, right? What's going on? Is our son, like what's, there were a lot of serious conversations had behind the scenes. And the consensus was he'll grow out of it, hopefully, Lord willing. But I could sing because I wasn't creating the content, right? I wasn't creating the conversation. So the part of my brain that had to create and generate the content, the conversation, was being overwhelmed by the other part of my brain, the dictation. But singing was a song that already existed. I didn't have to create it. I got to repeat it, right? And so I would, this sounds crazy, but I would go in the woods and I would sing. And I would cry sometimes and sing because there was a way, it was the only way that I could really express myself, get some of those feelings out, right? Is to sing. And I sang and sang. And when I started working, I sang. I'd sing and I'm roofing. Everyone made fun of me. Everyone said it's the singing roofer, right? But I would sing while I was roofing, sing. So I developed a voice, right? But I'm in love. I love singing because it's an essential part of how I express myself. Yeah.
And you're so good at it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did
end up with some chops, so that's great. Yeah.
How close were we to seeing you on album covers versus for sale signs?
Close-ish. I think that if I wouldn't have been married and had the kids on the way when kind of the doors started coming together, I would have probably gone in a very different direction.
Interesting.
But I'm thankful for the direction because I was very immature. A lot of things had yet to be fixed and grown and all that, and who knows what would have happened. I'm looking forward to taking another stab at things in that direction from a much more mature and balanced person. Yes. So we'll see.
So the album cover might not be out of the question.
It's not out of the picture yet.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So as businesses grow, leadership changes too, right? What are some habits that have helped you scale effectively, but has also kept you grounded?
I think that I don't gravitate towards routine. And so nailing down routine to the floor is so important for me, but I think it's really important for everyone to have some routines. And a lot of those routines simply come back to basics like I said, getting up, setting the tone with my day, with time with the Lord, with reminder that I don't have to do, I get to do, connecting to my wife, connecting with my kids. Those things just give you energy that you just can't come up with yourself.
Right.
I don't have, as much as I have to give, there is a missing piece, right? And if I can go and make sure I'm armed with a missing piece, I have things that I find energy and strength and wisdom from other places, right? It's not, it doesn't have to be just me. And so that's really good. Always be reading a book, always a good book, something that you're constantly feeding yourself with. If you don't have a book you're working on, I think that's a shame. Have a book that you're reading a couple pages maybe every single day, just feeding yourself. It's really healthy.
Well, that's great.
So really simple.
Yeah.
Simple stuff.
But like foundational stuff that you can implement today.
Basics. Don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Don't have to redo everything. The principles are there.
Right. Lean in.
Yeah.
So what is something that you used to spend too much time on before that you've learned to let go of?
Worrying.
Yeah. So you don't worry anymore.
I think everyone worries a little bit, and I think getting centered quicker. If you don't have a place to go to get centered and grounded, then you are lost. You'll just worry all day. You'll go to sleep with worry. You'll wake up with worry. And so it's not that I don't worry. It's that I know where to bring it. And so if you don't have a place to bring it, then that's really the problem. And that's what I didn't have. I didn't know where to go with my worry. Yeah. I felt alone. I felt like if I was going to go to the people that I really respected, they would think less of me. Right. And so once those fears, I learned to overcome those fears more and more, then you get to take the worry and the anxiety and take it right to where it belongs and get rid of it. So that is something I think we could all do a lot less.
Which is hard to do.
Yes,
it's not an easy thing to learn, but once you get there, it's freeing.
Yeah. You give 10 times more energy to worrying about a problem than you do to fixing it.
Yeah.
So
looking back, what decisions have had the biggest long-term impact on your brokerage?
Long-term impact. I think joining RE/MAX was number one.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful I've never regretted my decision for a second. I'm very thankful. I love the environment, the culture, the support, the brand, all of it. I think that was a huge one. I think that another decision I made was hiring Jennifer as my assistant and then delegating more and more to her over time. One of the best decisions I have ever made is leaning on her and letting her grow, letting her leadership shine, letting her natural gifts really breathe, and letting her tell me when to shut up. and really, truly giving people around me permission to speak honestly into my life. I just said this to staff yesterday. I'm like, you should have said that in a little more of aggressive tone. Like, hey, please don't do that, right? Hands off, smack, right?
Yeah.
And so that's been very instrumental for me.
Awesome.
Is letting other people lead.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, becoming a broker is a deliberate choice. You could have stayed as an individual. You could have stayed as a team leader. You chose to own a company instead. What was the appeal, and has it been worth it?
Yeah, it has been worth it. And the most valuable thing is the growth that I found in it personally. So I think my number one takeaway today is that. So it's a tough road. It's a tough challenge. If I would have known, I would never have started. And that's why we do things by faith. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Well, and there's some people that buy the brokerage, and there's some people that start and open a building, and it is them and their shingle. And that was your path.
It was my path. And I think just the simple seed that started it was, hey, I have a vision. And my vision was really simple. We have all these things we teach about how to treat our clients. Why aren't brokers saying the same thing about their agents? Why aren't brokers, we got to connect with your clients. You got to be authentic. You got to be there with them. You got to be present, all these things. And why are we not feeling that with our agents, right? So I said, I'm going to treat my agents just like I do my clients. I think it's going to go well if I do that. Yeah. And it has gone well.
It has gone well.
So it's been hard. It's been challenging. But again, a lot of great lessons learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, from the standpoint of a leader, what has RE/MAX offered you?
So RE/MAX gives me that backstop, that really nice backstop that feels, and you don't need it every day. Right? You don't wake up every day and, oh, thank God, but you need it every week, every month, knowing that you have a backstop of technology, of support, of friendship, of connection, of companionship. And so I have talked to, most of my takeaway from conferences are the 1 a.m. conversations with Mary Ann or Tom or, Randy, at the bar, at the table. There's immense wealth in it. And even though we're all, separated in our markets, have our own unique problems, having that support is huge. And I don't think you can put it into words. I don't think words really suck it. Just even saying it just falls flat, but it's real when you experience it. And I experienced it when Randy took me to that first event, RE/MAX event, and the generosity and the authenticity I felt in the room was palpable. And I said, yeah, I think I can grow in this environment. Yeah. Right. I think I felt safe to grow, and I continue to feel that way.
That's wonderful.
So, and you continue to share that growth with the next round of brokers that come after you.
I hope so.
Thank you for all that you do.
You do 100%. And it shows. So, all right, Joe, one of my favorite parts of the podcast is just rapid fire questions. And
rapid fire. Let's go. All right.
Whatever comes to you first.
All right.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Neither.
He comes pre-caffeinated.
I know, especially not energy drinks. I will drink coffee now and then. Yeah. A little more lately, but more to be with my wife. She loves coffee, and something about that experience, sitting here watching her drink her coffee and how much she appreciates it. I'm like, I kind of want in on that.
Okay. One business lesson you come back to over and over again.
Take a deep breath. And humble yourself.
There you go.
Humble yourself a lot. And usually that's like, I'm holding on to something. I'm upset about something. I got bent out of shape over something. Need to take a deep breath and just humble myself. Let it go. Let it go. And let's move forward.
Favorite local spot in Big Rapids?
Favorite local spot? I think that I really enjoy the Rock Cafe.
Yeah.
And I wish some of my friends enjoyed it more. If you're listening to this, because I really like hanging out there. I really like eating there. So yeah.
What about the milkshake spot?
The milkshake spot is an easy one. I do love it there.
Slam dunk.
I end up inside and outside, but yeah, between that and the Rock Cafe, two of my favorite places to eat and hang out. Yeah.
Very good. One thing you believe great leaders do consistently?
Lead from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and share credit, share credit over and over again, share credit. And if you look around as a leader and you don't find anyone to share credit with, you're not, I don't think you're a leader.
Yeah.
I think you're maybe getting started, maybe you want to be, but if you don't have people to share credit with, then you're not leading.
Yeah.
You know, you might be commanding, you might be doing other things, but having people around to share credit with is everything.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It feels good.
Good.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, if you could give one piece of advice to an agent just trying to build a successful career without losing who they are, what would that be?
I'm not going to give you a boring answer. I'm going to say, find your creative side. Find your creative side. Lean into it. Ask your wife, your husband, your son, your daughter, your best friend, people who know enough about you, and say, because we can, you're going to check the boxes. You got to find a great broker, blah, blah, blah. You got to do all this stuff, right? But find your creative side. What makes you you? What makes you excited? What method of lead procuration gets you pumped? That sounds fun. That sounds like something I can lean into. What kind of event do you want to run? What kind of club do you want to be a part of where you can meet people? Lean into you. Agents, don't let anyone stop you from doing that. You'll learn the basics. You'll hear the basics if you're around the right people all the time, right?
Yeah.
But be yourself, be authentic, and be creative. Find the creative side of you and apply it to your business.
That is a great way to end this. What a fantastic answer that was.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Do you have any last words that you'd like to leave everybody with today?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I think
just I love this business. I love what it does for people. And I love how it grows everyone involved. I really think agents can look at it as an opportunity for growth everywhere, right? Yeah. So take a deep breath, back to basics. And again, let yourself shine. Let yourself, every agent in my office has their own brand, their own personality, their own angle, and I'm like, lean into that. Let's fire that up,
Get it going.
That excites me.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It's been a fun and insightful conversation, and we appreciate you being so open with your personal side, but your professional side, and kind of figuring out what that looks like for you. And I think many people have many tidbits to gain from this. Yeah.
I hope so. It's been fun either way.
Yeah, great. And listeners, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Recharge. Make sure to subscribe and like and share these videos so that you don't miss another episode. Thank you.